I just want to say a big thank you.
Make 4 key signings in their squad this season. The signing of David Raya from Brentford, Timber from Ajax, Declan Rice from West Ham, and finally the signing of Kai Havertz from Chelsea. These signings have made Arsenal play a different form of game this season. Though Raya has not started yet, Timber started but got off injured during the first game of the season. We are going to analyze how Arteta did this. So Arteta lines his team up this season in a 4-3-3 system, similar to last season. Timber was preferred as a left back, with Thomas Partey starting as right back. This is going to form our basis of our analysis of the video today. Before we start our analysis, kindly make sure that you've seen more videos on Arsenal on our timeline. Like, share and subscribe to this channel. So the first aspect we're going to look at is Arsenal in possession. In possession means the team when they have the ball. So Arsenal start in a 4-3-3 system. This 4-3-3 system, Arsenal do not attack teams in this kind of system. And this is how Arsenal start. In the Community Shield game against Manchester City, since that is the only team that has pressed them high so far, Arsenal pushed Ramsdale to play as a secondary centre-back next to Saliba, with Ben White pushing wide and Timber playing as an orthodox left-back. The role of Thomas Partey is very key during this build-up phase, because rather than holding the position as a right-back, he quickly inverts in midfield, dragging the opposition winger in field. So when Ben White receives the ball in these situations, he's not under much pressure, since Thomas Partey has already dragged the winger in field. So when Ben White receives this ball and is put under pressure, Odegaard shifts from his midfield position and drops in the right side space vacated as a result of Saka pushing high up. Odegaard receives this ball while Nketiah drops from the to be a false 9 to tie up the midfield, and here is where Odegaard threads through balls for the runs of Bukayo Saka. And this has been a constant threat in how Arsenal build their play up. Odegaard always finds himself in this position with the ball, threading balls for the runs of Saka. This has seen Saka improve tremendously this season. So since Arsenal have faced teams that have been scared to press them high up the pitch because of their excellent build-up, Arsenal adapt their structure by pushing their 2 midfielders in Havertz and Odegaard high up the pitch to play behind the opposition midfield line. When Arsenal have the ball, Rice pushes towards the left as Thomas Partey inverts from his unorthodox right-back position to start as the next double pivot alongside Declan Rice. This enables Arsenal to occupy the midfield with 2 defensive midfielders who are great on the ball, forming the 3-2-5 system famed for by Manchester City Pep Guardiola. So in these situations, the double pivots are key, since they are the hub in which the team moves. We see Thomas Partey receiving the ball in this position and threading line-breaking passes to Odegaard, the dropping in Nketiah, and picking the runs of Saka. Rice, also down the left-hand flank, uses this to link up with Timber, Martinelli, and Havertz. From this clip here, you can see how Arsenal are moving effectively during their build-up phase. You can see how they constantly rotate their position and also use Ramsdale's excellent passing accuracy to pick the runs of their forwards quite intelligently and quite remarkable from Arsenal. This tactic employed by Arsenal is quite great, as you can see their creative players having most touches in the opposition box. This quick possession-based football is something that Mikel Arteta have really tried to implement at Arsenal, with these half-space runs being a key and common to Arsenal during their build-up phase. You can see how they are excellent in building from the back, always evading opposition pressure, indicating how Arsenal are great in progressing off the ball from their defensive third to their attacking third. And you can see how Odegaard likes to pick Saka in these kinds of runs. Now, once Arsenal have progressed into the opposition defensive third, some teams decide to set their forward line to sit on Arsenal's pivot, but leave the three centre-backs under no pressure to build the play from the back. And this is how, because they do this because Arsenal form this box midfield shape with Havertz and Odegaard playing ahead of the double pivot. So these teams are trying to use this system so that their midfielders can stay deep and track the runs of Havertz. So in these instances, the wide centre-backs become so free that they try to play these line-breaking passes to the dropping midfielders, where they can make third run passes to the holding midfielders, who can now continue to dictate the tempo of the game. This is something that Arsenal have done repeatedly, making these third man passes. So, in instances where the opposition midfielders are tasked to tie up Havertz and Odegaard, we see another opening for Arsenal that they use during this build-up phase. And this is when they shift the ball to their wide centre-backs. They play the ball directly to the dropping in wingers in Martinelli and Saka. And once they receive these balls in space, being great 1v1 attacking players, they are not afraid to use their pace and incredible dribbling ability to run after the opposition fullback. In most instances, they succeed in beating them. Now, this is another system that Arteta employs. So some teams have decided to position their wingers in the wide channels to prevent these balls to Arsenal's wingers. But still, Arsenal have an answer for this. And this is coming from their wide centre-backs, especially Timber during the game against Manchester City, the first game of the season. Being a conventional fullback, Timber is not afraid to shift and carry the ball in field, drawing in an opponent while Declan Rice leaves his position in midfield and drops in to replace Timber. Therefore, Timber acts as a conventional left back in these situations. This creates a triangle down the wide channel where Arsenal are able to maneuver the ball against the opponent, and this makes Arsenal to easily create and build their attack, with Martinelli linking up with Havertz as they interchanged, with one occupying the wide areas that we've seen Havertz occupy most this season, while Martinelli making these runs in between the centre-back and the full-back. This is something that has been quite instrumental for Arsenal, as this is how Arsenal scored their Community Shield goal. Down the right-hand flank, the same occurs. This is because Ben White likes to overlap Bukayo Saka in these situations. So this is how Ben White does it. Odegaard drops slightly deep and receives the ball directly from Ben White. This prompts Saka to run and make these runs in between the fullback and the centre-back. So Ben White receives the ball and immediately advances forward to play as a conventional fullback. In these instances, their main aim is to overload the fullback by creating a 2v1 system. If the fullback comes across to cover Ben White, he can make a cross, or alternatively, play a quick 1-2 with Odegaard, who can slip the ball in the half space for the runs of Saka. And this is how Saka scored his Nottingham Forest goal. By receiving the ball in this region, Saka is good at cutting in with his left foot and attempting a shot on goal, something that has made him to play in his best form this season. So these are some of the attacking patterns that we see with Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. Now, we also understand that the wide centre-back's position is very crucial for Arsenal. Down the left-hand flank, Declan Rice likes to pull out fast, leaving Thomas Partey in midfield, where they create this left-sided overload with Havertz and Martinelli. So this left-hand side overload sees Declan Rice actually push forward and in some instances occupy the left-hand space corridor. This enables Arsenal to form this diamond kind of shape, especially when they are facing teams in a back five and they are trying to overload them. This enables Arsenal to have 3 more players in between the lines who can receive the ball in tight pressure and maneuver the ball by making through balls. So let's look at Arsenal out of possession. So out of possession, Arsenal, being a possession-based team, is quite aggressive in their press. So when opponents try to build from the back, Arsenal will deny them any opportunity to do this. And how do Arsenal do this? This is by pressing in a 4-1-4-1 system. This is by the wingers coming in nearer and closer to each other, with Havertz joining Ketia in these pressing situations. Most teams decide to go long, but Saliba has shown this season to be one of the best centre-backs in the league, winning the ball and handing it over back to Declan Rice, who plays it back to Odegaard, who uses his incredible passing accuracy to initiate quick counter-attacks. And this is how Arsenal are playing this season. So far, Arsenal have only conceded 1 goal in the Premier League. Arsenal are trying to build a team that is good defensively. The signings of Rice and Havertz are crucial to how Arsenal play this season. Though they have not yet started scoring many goals like they did last season, their defensive record looks quite impressive, showing dominance and stopping counter-attacks in games. So, do you think Arsenal have it to challenge Manchester City for the title this season? Leave your comments down below, and if you've stayed with us till the end of this video, thanks for watching.